Any mom's going to tell you that getting healthy dinners on the table is a non-stop challenge. As a food allergy mama, you not only have this challenge, but you also have other major obstacles to deal with. For example, converting every good recipe you find into something that's safe for your family can be exhausting. Even though you long to be able to forget about finding and cooking safe food for maybe a little while, like even a weekend, you have nobody to take over. And when you do get a break, all that free time is spent teaching your friends or family how to cook safely and going over the ingredients of every dish for the next social event. Not only that, but the overwhelm with reading labels at the grocery store is real, and you would love to go back to the days when you could just throw anything into the cart on a whim. Can anyone relate? I know more than one probably can. Maybe you're wondering if this cooking situation is something that you have to accept as a food allergy mama. Maybe you're destined to suffer in silence when it comes to easily and safely feeding your family every single day. Well, not with this episode. I'm going to share 3 simple but life-changing tips that will make cooking for food allergies easier and less burdensome. You'll learn what to do so you can feed your family fast without sacrificing safety or quality. Sound good? Let's get to it. Hey food allergy mama, if you're here, you've likely experienced the scary and lonely food allergy diagnosis with your child. Unfortunately, food allergy parents aren't taught how to navigate the food allergy lifestyle, and it's easy to feel alone and discouraged sometimes. But I'm here to show you that food allergy life, it doesn't have to feel restrictive, scary, or isolated. I'm Karina, and I'm a 17-year food allergy mom and food allergy coach at Friendly Pantry Consulting. I specialize in making food allergy life safer and less worrisome for food allergy families like yours. I'm not perfect, but over 17 years, I've learned a lot the hard way, and I'm sharing the secrets and resources you won't hear anywhere else that will help you feel confident living with food allergies faster and easier than I did. From introducing allergens, travel, navigating school, and educating friends and family, this podcast will give you the essential tips and strategies you need to help your food allergy child and family thrive. Welcome to the show. Okay, I want to say a couple of things before we get started here. First of all, I want to welcome all the food allergy dads who are cooking for their family. It's not just a food allergy mom thing, but I know that I talk to food allergy moms in this podcast the most. And I just want to take a moment to recognize that if you're a food allergy dad going through this, you are welcome here as well. And secondly, as a parent, I know that you're going to do whatever it takes to keep your child safe and to feed them healthy food. So I want you to know that I know that you wouldn't change it, but that doesn't mean that we can't make this easier for you. So let's get right into the first tip so that you can get allergy-friendly food on the table quicker and easier. Tip number 1 is don't be afraid to move out of your food comfort zone. And what I mean by this is to not just cook food that you know your kids are going to like. So even if you know that lots of kids like chicken fingers or things like that, try and move out past that. I know it doesn't sound easy because it's easy to fall into the trap of making what you know your kids are going to like. And I did this all the time. I mean, who wants to throw out that dinner you spent all that time and effort making with only grouchy kids that ask for snacks within an hour to show for it? Trust me when I say that kids will be kids and they'll likely be picky no matter what we do. They'll gobble up something one day, but the next day they won't even try it. But here's the thing, food allergies already restrict our diets in so many ways. So keeping an open mind to new things, even if we're not sure that our kids are going to like it, will allow us to focus on the huge variety of foods you can eat so you can create new family favorites. And if you don't try something, how will you know? Not only that, but when you find those new foods that your family does love, you'll have more choice and more variety of flavors and more recipe options. Who doesn't love more variety? So if you can even start small and maybe even try one new recipe every couple of weeks or even once a month, that's going to help you move past that and try and open up all of those options to your family. Tip number 2 is to start meal planning. I know there are a lot of you out there who have huge resistance to meal planning. But I have to say that from my own experience, using a proven system like meal planning is life-changing. It's going to decrease the weight of finding and preparing safe food, and it's going to make a huge difference for you. Here's a couple of reasons that moms have told me that they don't like to meal plan. And basically, you'll do what it takes to keep your child safe, but it seems like a lot of work. Or maybe you know what your family likes, like we talked about in tip number 1, and you're afraid that a meal plan will force you to cook food that will be wasted and the kids are going to be looking for snacks an hour after dinner. Or maybe you want to live a normal life despite food allergies, but you feel like anything you do with food is now complicated. You don't have the time to get through the complications to create a system that decreases your cooking stress. But here's the truth. Busy moms like you don't have a second to waste on things that don't serve your family. You have so many other things you need to be doing, but finding and preparing safe food is required, whether you like it or not. And this makes creating a meal plan really valuable for your life. True, it doesn't seem simple when you're already bogged down with your everyday responsibilities, but that doesn't mean that the process can't be a whole lot simpler with a guided map that shows you exactly what to do, when, and how. And I'm going to share that map with you in a minute, so hang tight. But I really want you to know that you do not have to suffer through it because food allergy cooking is just harder, because a good meal plan is going to inspire you to have more new food ideas. It's going to save you time so you can spend less time in the kitchen and more time having fun with your family. It's going to save you the stress of converting every single recipe you find into something safe for your family. And it's going to save you money because you don't have to buy as many expensive pre-made allergy convenience foods. You're going to feel less burnt out from cooking and baking just by having a meal plan. Even though food allergy cooking is more difficult, a good meal plan with a framework, proper techniques, and solid strategies will save you more time, energy, and stress, which means it's extremely valuable. And this leads us to tip number 3. And this one is life-changing. Tip number 3 is to use recipe grouping to make meal planning easier. So let's talk about that framework of your meal plan. And this framework is more important than you think. Here's why. Many food allergy moms look at their food requirements for the day or the week separately from what they need as a whole. They kind of focus on what's for dinner today or this week, when in reality, it's only a small part of the plan. So if we're looking at what's for dinner as a component of a whole system, you're going to save time and effort for many food allergy struggles, from that daily worry of what you're going to feed your kids to preparing for social events and even for food allergy travel too. In short, a good food allergy meal plan is so much more than just planning day by day or week by week. It's a few moving parts put together in the right way so it's efficient and time-saving. And a big part of that meal plan is called recipe grouping. What is recipe grouping? Well, here are the 4 main recipe groups that I use and how to use them in an efficient meal plan. The first one is called pantry panic meals. These are meals that you're going to create right out of your pantry. Everything I need for them is going to be in my pantry and nothing will be required from the grocery store. So these are going to bail me out of thinking what's for dinner at least once per week. You want to use things like canned meats, dry goods to create these meals. For example, a tuna rice dish if that's safe for your family, or a bean dish if that's safe for your family. Of course, choose what works for your allergies, but taking a little time to research a couple of pantry panic meals is going to give you so much freedom during the week. The next recipe group are freezer frenzy meals, and these are meals that I bulk make and I freeze and put them in the freezer. So I bulk make them like 2 times per year, and then I'm going to use them every week on those days that I don't have time to cook. I choose 2 recipes that my family loves that freeze well, and we like to do chili and a bolognese sauce. But you can choose whatever works for your family, and you're going to take those 2 meals and you're going to alternate them each week so that your family doesn't get sick of them, because you're only going to be eating them once every couple of weeks or so. The third recipe group is convenience meals, and these are going to be meals that are pre-made and allergy friendly. They usually come from the freezer, but they might be from the pantry too. One example might be frozen French fries with pre-made chicken strips. Now these are going to be more expensive because they are pre-made, and of course they fall into that allergy friendly category, but I recommend having at least one of them ready to go for those days when you just can't cook or you really don't want to. And the last recipe grouping are regular rotation meals. These are the recipes that you need to research and buy for each week, but you can reuse them over and over and also mix them with the other 3 recipe groups so the family doesn't get sick of them. You're always welcome to find new ones every once in a while, but you save time because you're not constantly searching for new recipes every single week. So now that we know the 4 recipe groups, let's talk about how we can use them together to make a really great meal plan. I basically take 1 freezer frenzy meal, meal and one pantry panic recipe every week. I use those on the nights when we're super busy with like activities and we have no time to prepare a meal. Because they're being rotated between weeks, it's going to be at least 2 weeks since the last time we had the recipe, so all the family doesn't get sick of them. That leaves 3 weeknights and 2 weekend nights to cook for every week. So I usually leave one night open in case we go to a friend's or have a night out. Then we're usually having one convenience meal or leftovers for the other night. Whatever is left will be filled with regular rotation meals. So I hope you can see how when all these recipe groups are combined into a meal plan, you're going to have more meal ideas and feel less burnt out. And you're going to spend less time even reading food labels and figuring out what's for dinner. But maybe you're new to meal planning and you just want to try it out and have some done for you meal plans. I have something for you which is called 90-Minute Variety Booster. This is an amazing recipe ebook and training bundle that I've created to help you with a month of meals so that you can decide if meal planning is for you. And of course, these are done for you, and the recipes work for the top 9 allergens plus gluten. And they even include a week's worth of freezer frenzy meals. So if you want to check that out, I'm going to post a link to that in the show notes. So what do you think? What was the most surprising thing that you learned about cooking for food allergies in this episode? Let me know by sending me a DM on Instagram. My handle is @friendlypantry. Thanks for listening and bye for now. Before you go, Mama, if you love this episode and want deeper support, head over to friendlypantry.com to see how we can partner together to keep your food allergy child safer and worry less. There's no need for wasting time searching all over Instagram, TikTok, and the web to get the practical knowledge you need for your family. While you're there, grab your free Food Allergy Kids Empowerment Guide or the newly diagnosed checklist today. Topics are not medical advice and are the opinions, views, and property of Friendly Pantry Consulting Incorporated. All rights reserved. Always contact your board-certified allergist, immunologist for health advice.